latest information coming in on the top of news track is that India has successfully test-fired its China missile, the Agni 5. The ballistic missile has a range of 5,000 to 5,500 kilometers. It's the fifth in a series of medium and long-range nuclear-capable ballistic missiles that have been developed by India. This missile test will be one of China's key worries, as the missile can very easily cover the landmass of China, extending to several parts of Europe and even Russia. Shiv Arur joins us. There are very few people who understand missile systems quite the way that Shiv does. Shiv, 5,000 to 5,500 kilometers. Where all can this missile travel to? And is there anything to be read in the timing of the test launch of Agni 5?
Rahul, by many stretches, this is the longest and longest range missile test in the history of India's strategic weapons program. Nothing has ever come anywhere close to this. We've tested weapons out to about 3,000 to 4,000 kilometers. This is the first time the Agni 5, which is our longest range missile, has been tested to its complete operational range, which is about 5,500 kilometers. Like you rightly said, at that range it covers every part of China, large parts of Russia, many parts of Europe. Basically all of the threats that India could possibly have around it are covered by this. Of course, we should mention that this is not a conventional weapon. This is a nuclear delivery system, Rahul, in the sense that it is meant as part of our nuclear command and our strategic deterrence. It's capable of delivering a 1.5-ton nuclear payload to any of these locations if deemed necessary. Now, the timing is interesting, Rahul. Remember, a test of this kind is pre-planned very many months in advance, so I wouldn't read too much into this test happening now, just a few days after Tawang. I'm sure many people are tempted to to look into it as a message, but these strategic tests always do have their message, because remember, tensions between India and China have been on for more than 2.5 years now. They began in May 2020, and so everything that has happened since then has some kind of subliminal link with what's happening on the frontier with China. And remember that the Agni 5 has an unofficial moniker as India's China missile, or China-centric missile. While India does not, of course, profess to point its nuclear weapons at any country, the very range that has been tested today, the maximum range, makes it pretty clear to anyone looking, Rahul, that this is in fact a China-centric weapon system. But as I said, it's a nuclear deterrent, and as per our nuclear use policies, this weapon, if ever, God forbid, it needs to be fired, will only be fired in retaliation.
There's also a massive Yudh Abhyas that's currently on, an Air Force demonstration of its power. Again, planned in advance, but very clear muscle flexing in the skies, this time by the Indian Air Force.
Very true, Rahul. Planned in advance, but very much in keeping with the fact that China has been expanding its air power capabilities, as well as, poking airspace, sending drones in, sending helicopters very close to Indian airspace over the last many weeks and months. So even though it is not linked directly to what has happened in Tawang last Friday, it's very much to do with the fact that China has been hiking up tensions, ratcheting up the situation as far as, helicopter bases, creating new airfields, sending its air assets closer and closer to Indian airspace, not just in the eastern sector but also in the central sector. So this air power demonstration and exercise, even though planned very much in advance, has a lot to do with how China has, in a runaway manner, been, expanding its air power infrastructure. So that definitely has a much closer link to the Agni 5 test.